To the coronavirus emergency, that new FDA warning about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, saying it could be linked to a rare neurological disorder. Alex Perez has more from Little Rock, Arkansas, where new COVID cases are rising dramatically. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Michael. This is one of the hospitals seeing a surge in COVID cases. In fact, here in Arkansas, COVID cases are up 77% in the last 2 weeks. All this as we learn more about that new warning for the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. This morning, federal officials warning the single-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine may slightly increase the risk of a rare disease, Guillan Barre Syndrome, or GBS, where the body's immune system attacks nerve cells, causing muscle weakness and, in extreme cases, paralysis. The CDC investigating just 100 out of nearly 13 million doses. The symptoms showing up primarily in men aged 50 and older about 2 weeks after vaccination. Tom Gorman got the J&J vaccine in March. A couple weeks later, his legs started feeling weak. Then he lost the ability to walk. Emergency room tests revealed he had GBS.
I used to be very, very athletic, and now I'm confined to a wheelchair.
Gorman says he still thinks everyone should get vaccinated.
I'm pro-vaccine. I'm just one of the unfortunate ones that got the Guillain-Barre.
According to officials, the syndrome has not been seen in people vaccinated with Moderna and Pfizer's mRNA shots, but officials also stressing the benefits of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine outweigh the risks. This as hospitalizations increased by at least 20% in 12 states over the last 2 weeks. In Arkansas, where less than 35% of the state's population is vaccinated, daily COVID cases have increased a whopping 385% in the last 5 weeks.
Most of the patients are between the ages of 20 and 50, and largely they are unvaccinated.
In Little Rock, where only 40% of Pulaski County is fully vaccinated, Angela Morris hanging on to hope, talking to us from her daughter's hospital bedside.
Her kidneys have failed. It's all been very overwhelming.
13-year-old Kaya, who has not been vaccinated, is on a ventilator, fighting to stay alive. Her mother begging people to get the shot. A tough time for that family right now, and we've learned Pfizer has met with the Department of Health and Human Services to discuss that third shot, a booster shot, but federal officials saying right now at this point they do not believe that's necessary. George?
Okay, Alex, thanks. Let's bring in our friend Dr. Ashish Jha, Dean of the Brown University School of Public Health. Welcome back, Dr. Jha. Let's just start out by setting the terms of what's going on here. Explain what Guillain-Barre Syndrome is.
Yeah, so good morning, George, and thanks for having me back. Yeah, Guillain-Barre Syndrome is a neurologic condition. Basically, it's your immune system attacks your own nerve cells. It's pretty rare. It's pretty rare in general and can be caused by, can be triggered by other infections. It has been known to be triggered by medicines or even other vaccines. We see this. It's a pretty rare condition, but it happens.
And we should emphasize the association between Guillain-Barre and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is even more rare. 100 cases out of more than 12 million COVID cases overall, people who've been vaccinated by the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
Absolutely. This is a very rare side effect of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. We're still figuring out whether it's really related, but given that it's been shown with other vaccines, it's been shown with infections, it would not be surprised if it ends up being a real association, but a very, very rare one.
So what kind of symptoms should people be on the watch for if they've taken the Johnson & Johnson vaccine?
Yeah, so again, this is pretty uncommon. The classic symptoms of Guillain-Barre starts with a little bit of tingling and numbness that can happen, especially in the legs, and then the main symptom is weakness. So if you start feeling weakness in your legs, sometimes in your arms, and then obviously if you have difficulty walking, you want to go get that checked out by your doctor or go to the emergency room.
And at this point, the jury's still out on the need for booster shots, but at some point, do you expect it to be recommended?
You know, the jury is still out, and we got to look at the data. I would not be surprised if at some point down the road, let's say for immunocompromised people or for the elderly who don't often respond quite as effectively in terms of their immune response to a vaccine, we may need a third shot. But I want to see the data before we make any such determination.
And how long do you think that'll take?
You know, I think, so Pfizer and Moderna both say that they have some preliminary data now and that there's some data from Israel. So we may see something sooner rather than later. But I think we're going to have to keep tracking this. There are people now who are 6-8 months out of their second shot of the vaccine. We're starting to get pretty good information about how long the protection lasts.
Dr. Jha, thanks for your time and your information this morning.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.